1997, Pai Hsiao Yen was abducted as she walked to Tsing Wu High School in New Taipei, Taiwan. Her abduction would completely galvanize the nation. Welcome to another episode of Human Wreckage, True Crime Podcast. Today we will talk about the case of Pai Hsiao Yen, who vanished on her way to school one day. Her disappearance shocked Taiwan. Please pardon if I mispronounce any names, I will try my best. I want to start covering more cases from around the world. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you like what I do, please like and subscribe. On the 14th of April, 1997, 17-year-old Pai Hsiao Yen was abducted as she walked to Tsing Wu High School in Lingkou District, New Taipei, Taiwan. Pai was the daughter of TV variety show host and pop singer Pai Ping and the Japanese author Ikki Kajiwara. Her parents would discover that Pai had been abducted later that afternoon when they received a letter in the mail. The letter contained a photograph of Pai. She was bound with her face almost completely covered in masking tape. The letter also demanded $5 million for Pai's safe return. In the envelope, there was also a slice of a little finger. It was Pai's. The $5 million ransom was one of the highest ever on the island. Ping and Kajiwara decided that they wanted to pay the ransom in 4 times. Ping had arranged to meet the abductors with the ransom money, but each time they failed to turn up. Ping and Kajiwara would immediately contact police, but it was decided that there would be a media blackout. However, towards the end of April, Pai still hadn't been found, so the abduction was publicized in the media in the hopes that somebody somewhere would come forward with a lead. The abduction was publicized because 3 of the abductors were identified and apprehended. These men identified 3 other men who were involved in the abduction. Police needed the public's help in tracking them down and hopefully finding Pai. While most news outlets had respected the blackout, there were a handful who had gathered outside the family's home on a day-to-day basis, making it abundantly clear to the abductors that Pai's family had contacted police. Ping appeared at a press conference and pleaded for the safe return of her daughter. She said she had no regrets in contacting police for help, stating, "I hope everyone can help bring back Hsiao Yen. But if something unfortunate has really happened, I hope this can be transformed into increased public awareness." In an attempt to find Pai, Vice President Lian Chan ordered police and military authorities to conduct an all-out search for both Pai and her abductors. Thousands of police officers and volunteers would comb throughout the northern Taiwan countryside after receiving a tip that Pai may have been abandoned in the rural area. 15 days after Pai was abducted, there was a crushing update in the case. Her nude body was found in a drainage ditch in a mountainous area near the industrial suburb of Waku. Her grief-stricken parents were transported to the crime scene to identify the body of their only daughter. Pai had been strangled to death, and it was estimated she had been dead for at least 8 days. Her body was weighed down with iron hammers. There was evidence that Pai had been tortured before being killed. The gruesome discovery outraged the nation, and police stepped up the search for the rest of her killers. They conducted checks at airports and ports, fearing that the remainder of the suspects could attempt to flee. Meanwhile, President Lee Teng-Hui apologized for the increasing crime rate in Taiwan. "As head of state, I express my most sincere apology for the worsening social law and order. The government will take full responsibility." The rise in violent crime had come after the lifting of martial law in 1987. Shortly after his speech, around 50,000 people marched in Taipei to denounce police and officials for their inability to deal with the frightening rise in violent crime. Much of the community demanded that Vice President and Premier Lian Chan resign. He had been the focus of public anger. He refused to resign, but did say he would step down once a revision of the Constitution was completed. He would resign in August of that year. Ping would partially blame the government for the murder of her daughter. She said that police had tried to encourage her not to pay the ransom and accused them of bungling the search. She also blamed the media for camping outside her home and following her everywhere, either in car or in a helicopter. In total, 12 people would be arrested in connection with the gruesome murder, but 3 would escape initial capture. They were Chen Qin H. Sing, Lin Chun Sheng, and Cao Tang Min. These three were said to be the ringleaders. In fact, just a couple of months later, these three men would abduct Sao-Ming Tang, who was a counselor, followed by abducting a businessman. Then in August, the three men were spotted and a gunfight ensued. Chung Sheng turned the gun on himself after being shot 6 times. The other two men made a quick escape, and 2 months later, they murdered a local plastic surgeon, his wife, and a nurse after ordering him to perform plastic surgery. The following month, the 2 surviving suspects were tracked down. Tang Min took his own life instead of surrendering, while once again, Qin H. Sing managed to escape. He later held a family hostage, but surrendered to police without any more bloodshed. Qin H. Sing would confess to the murder of Pai, along with a string of other crimes. It was suspected that he was involved in at least 10 murders. He was executed on the 6th of October, 1999. Horrific case, 2 villains took the easy way out, 1 met justice. Taiwan is a beautiful country that does not experience many cases like this one. My heart goes out to Pai Hsiao Yen's family. Please take care of yourselves. Thank you for listening.